Buyers are sellers and sellers are buyers. What in the hell am I talking about? Hey, it's Mark here with the Hiller Group, brokered by eXp Realty, and my team and I have you covered along the beautiful Florida Emerald Coast from Pensacola all the way through Panama City. So, if you are buying a home, one day you will be a seller. When you're a buyer, think like a seller. What does that deep down to the root mean? It means don't buy some house that is so, I love this term, functioning. I can't even say it, I like it so much. Functionally obsolescent. The day you're buying a house, you must think about the day you're gonna sell it. Why is that important? You need to make sure you're not picking something that is so specific to your tastes that no one else is gonna buy it eventually. Okay? So what are some signs of things to look for without me being completely rude, telling you you have horrible tastes in houses, is if the house has been on the market for like 688 days, but it's in the right neighborhood and like the right school district, like there's nothing, like everything on the outside of the house, there's nothing wrong, then you probably want to think twice about it. Like when you walk in the house and there's a pond in the living room with a palm tree in it and a gold spiral staircase going up to the top of the tree with some fake coconuts, and you think that's cool, you may have a tough time selling it down the road. You gotta find the other guy who's exactly like you, who likes twisty gold staircases up to coconuts. Of course, that's a little far-fetched, but I'm talking about, like, for example, a sunken living room. Like when you walk in the house and you gotta take 3 steps down to get in the living room. That was something that was very popular in the 70s. That's a hard one. You may think it's really cool, you got an awesome sofa that's gonna look great in there, but like, where are the buyers gonna be in 6 years from now? Are they gonna think that's cool? You know, this open floor concept that we've been seeing for the last 8 to 10 years, like at some point, I see a pivot coming and coming back to a little bit of separation, right? So what's gonna happen to all those open floor concept homes? People are gonna go like, is there any way we can put a wall up here and kind of separate these 2 rooms? I mean, we did the same thing when the open floor concept came around. We were knocking down walls to make it open. Now we're gonna do the reverse at some point. But open floor plan or closed floor plan, that is not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about like maybe the house is backed up against a cemetery, a highway, like the neighbors next door, it's a hoarder house. Like, look around the property to make sure like somebody else would want to buy it eventually, okay? Same thing goes for when you buy a house and you go to renovate it. Make sure your renovations you do are resellable. I don't know how many times I've had clients say, this is my forever home, only to call me a couple years later and go, hey Mark, I need you to sell our house. Oh, by the way, we painted the entire house black. I love black, Mark. Right? Like, think about some of these things when, you don't know what life's gonna throw at you. I'm not saying it's gotta be perfect and sellable on a dime, but like, you may wanna do some things that are gonna bring value to the home, not devalue it over time. So that's how you become a buyer or a seller the day you're a buyer. Because the day you're buying the house, you got to think about 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the road of when you're going to be that seller. Sellers are buyers. And this is funny because I'm making a video right now about buyers are sellers and sellers are buyers. But what's funny is when I make a lot of my videos, I intertwine the two. Not on purpose, on accident typically, but it really got me and my videographer Mo here thinking about it. Every seller, probably 95, I don't know what freaking number is. I tried to Google it, I couldn't find it. I need to do some more research. But is it 95% of all sellers are going to be buyers? Think about it. If you've already been a homeowner, you're probably going to sell this one. Either you're moving into an old folks home, you're joining the circus, maybe you're going to live on a cruise ship the rest of your life. Like maybe some of those crazy things happen, but like most of the time you're probably going to go buy another house. So is it beneficial for you to hear things that I'm sharing with you about buying while selling? Absolutely. So when you're selling, you need to think about your buying side. And what does that look like? Like if you found the perfect house, and let's say you wrote an offer on it, and you were able to push out closing for, let's say, 3 months, because you don't even have your house on the market yet, right? What are you going to do in order to try to sell that house you have in a timely manner? You've got a deadline now. You've got 3 months. It's gonna take you 30 days to close. So now you've really only got 45 to 60 days to put that house under contract. What does that mean? That means stress. That means you need to find a good agent that you trust, you can listen to. You need a guide to guide you on your journey. But it means you have a deadline. You've got some things that have to happen in sequence in order to hit the end goal. And that's for you to be the buyer of the house you found. How you can fast forward that, how you can ensure that you hit that deadline is don't skip any steps in the selling process. What does that mean? There are certain steps you must take as a home seller in order to get your home sold in a timely manner. Especially right now in this market where everything's changing daily. We've got interest rates going here. Oh my gosh, they dropped 1/8 of a point and everybody's going out getting pre-qualified. Like it's crazy right now. So if you're on a deadline to sell your home, you better think about marketing, prep, open house, no open house, video, no video, drone, no drone. Like you gotta find the agent who's gonna take care of all of those things. You're gonna have enough on your plate. Find the agent that's gonna handle all that for you. Most of them will say they will, but are they gonna do it at a high enough level to hit your deadline? Period. This is where it probably would make most sense not to get the guaranteed lowest offer agent. Like, don't go to the guy who's gonna charge you 1/8% of commission, and you take your own pictures, send them over to me, and I'll upload them. I'm gonna put a horrible description of your home. Most people won't even read it because it's so horrible. I'll be unavailable if they try to schedule a showing. Like, that's not the time to use that guy. This is not the time to try to save money on an agent. This is the time to pay for quality, insurance, reassurance that you're gonna hit your goal. So find the agent, find the area expert, find the person who's going to lay out step by step what is going to get you to your goal. My suggestion is find the guy with a great track record. If somebody has sold X amount of homes over X amount of years, that probably means something. Either they're super duper lucky or they're good, or a combination. I like to say I'm lucky and good, but the reason I'm lucky is because I'm so good and I've had the opportunities. The more you do, the luckier you get. The more you do the same thing over and over, and because guess what? The professionals know it's not luck. It is that you're good. The part-timers are gonna say, oh, they're so lucky they got this listing. They're so lucky they did this. They're saying that because they didn't put the work in behind. So if you're selling, again, in this market, have the process, don't skip a step, hit that checklist that your agent gives you, because if you're trying to get to XYZ by a certain date, like this is not the market right now to go and test a price and think you're just gonna be able to make price adjustments or skip painting or skip pressure washing and all the prep stuff. Because remember, You were just a buyer, right? You remember we talked about it? You got the house under contract? You got a deadline? What did you look for when you were looking for that home? Did you go to Zillow or your website, or your agent's website, and did you look and go, God, that house looks like shit. I want to go see it. Man, that house needs pressure washing. Let's go see that one and see how bad the pressure washing is. I hate that paint. Let's go check out that house. No, your eyeballs and your brain are pulled to the ones that are the most attractive, right? Don't be the ugly duckling. So as you can take the knowledge you just used as an educated buyer, buying that house, going under contract on that house, take it and flip it. Like we say this all the time in the industry. I have to think like the consumer. Like I'm making this video to try to think like you so we can bond together. So maybe you'll be interested in hiring me. I mean, come on, that's why I'm doing this. So maybe one day, if you like this, you will hire me to help sell your house. But you, as the seller, need to think like the buyer. What would the buyer like about my house? Do I need to, oh my gosh, Mark, I probably do need to paint this room because I wouldn't like it like that. I know my wife liked that color, but not everybody else is gonna like that. You have to be open-minded to change and prep work in order to hit those deadlines if you're a home seller in today's market.